And Don Braid is the Managing Director of Mainfreight. He explains the difficulties of getting goods from ship to shore to shop floor right now.
The domestic freight network is finite. There's only a certain number of trucks, trains and coastal shipping containers that you can have. So what we're asking our customers to do is to order earlier and have less expectation on quick delivery. So be prepared, think about it, and allow for a longer transit time. By adopting those approaches, we might take that congestion out of the domestic supply chain.
Can you give me an example? What kind of time frame would you expect a container to arrive from China before COVID versus now?
I don't think there's an issue about the actual transit time of the vessel, so 15 to 20 days from China to New Zealand. The issue is once that ship arrives here, and as long as it hasn't had to go over Australia or wait for a shipping slot or a wharf slot in Australia, if it's come directly to here, the actual transit time will be about the same time. The problem is how long it has to wait in the stream outside either the port of Auckland or the port of Tauranga to be worked, and that sometimes can be out to 8 to 10 days. And then once the vessel is worked, if it's actually, say it's worked in Tauranga, then you've got a delay of, at the moment, between 7 and 10 days for that container to be railed from Tauranga to Auckland if it's an Auckland importer. If it's a Tauranga importer, it can be taken off the wharf, worked, and then distributed throughout the country. And those are some of the things that we're trying to do for customers is negate that movement from Tauranga to Auckland. If it's Auckland bound and it finally gets a slot on the port of Auckland, you've got that wait time of 8 to 10 days. Once that comes out off the wharf, then it's unpacked into the warehouse, ordered, and out for distribution. Normally, transit time, say, from Auckland to Christchurch is 2 to 3 days. At the moment, that's 4 to 5 days because of the congestion and the availability of equipment.
And when you talk about those Auckland wait times, say 7 or 8 days out in the stream, as you put it, what would you normally be waiting?
Oh, you shouldn't be waiting. The vessel should arrive on time and have a slot available. But unfortunately, with the problems that the ports of Auckland have been having of late, and they will, I'm sure, have lots of reasons behind that, but unfortunately, they are finding it a struggle to get their slots on time when they arrive here in Auckland.
Don, what do you think of Auckland Port's performance?
It's frustrating, and I get it that it's not an easy time, and this unusual demand perhaps wasn't expected. The consumer demand that we've got in New Zealand is strong. I mean, I think anyone that thought that the New Zealand economy wasn't going to take off, either during or after COVID, it was really wrong. And what we've got is a really, I wouldn't call it a hot economy, but it is definitely on the up, and that demand is hard to satisfy right now when you've got problems getting the freight from offshore into New Zealand.
So do you reckon Auckland Port's performance is subpar?
There's no doubt there's frustration, and
But whose fault is that, Don? Are they underperforming?
They've had problems, and you have to say, yes, they are underperforming. Their lower productivity levels at this time of the year, this is peak time, is just not good enough. And I'm sure that they'll have all the excuses in the world, but the reality is the country requires that port to actually perform as best as they can to satisfy the demands of the retailers and importers of the country.
Have you been having direct conversations with them?
Look, that's one thing that they're really, really good at. They communicate with our teams every day, letting us know what stocks, what containers are available and what's not available. But their communication is fantastic. We'd just like them to work faster and harder and to provide a slicker service across the port for those ships that are arriving.
So what are the hot products then that are, hard to source or hard to get here? What are we short on at the moment?
Oh, I think it's across the board, Lisa. We handle a lot of food, a lot of beverage, a lot of DIY product, and those are the sorts of products that have that have definitely got demand in them. But, I mean, go and try and buy a bike from a retailer at the moment. They'll ask you to wait till February or March to get that bike. I think the same for a car. I think if you wanted to pick a brand new car off the lot, they might tell you to come back in March. So it's across the board, across all sorts of products, and it's a combination of the effects of COVID, the manufacturing supply chain, the shipping and air freight supply chain, and the demand that we've got here. And as I said to you, it's not just New Zealand. This is happening in all of the regions that we're in. In America, they've got a shortage of equipment trying to get the containers off the wharf.
So, Don, wow, it sounds like there'll be a little bit of disappointment this Christmas for some people then.
I think there will be. We'll be doing our utmost to make sure that all our customers get their products to store and ultimately the consumer gets what they've ordered. But, of course, you do have this peak, pre-Christmas peak. Everyone wants it before Christmas. And I think if there's a little bit of patience in terms of that supply chain, the products are going to be available in the new year. And that patience might well help everybody to get their fair share.
Using your best crystal ball, how long are you expecting this demand to be around at this kind of level?
I think there's no doubt that pre-Christmas, it's been jammed into a smaller, shorter period. Normally we would build into Christmas from September through to December, but I think that this will definitely be congested up to and including Christmas. After that, I think there's still likely to be a good economy. Consumer demand seems to be there for the new year. But it just won't be as congested and it won't be as urgent.
So should we hold off doing our Christmas shopping until the end of the first 3 months of next year?
I don't think you should hold off. I think you should try and get what you want. And I think the other thing that's occurring, one of the trends that we're seeing is that there's more local product being bought versus imported product. And that's got to be good for the New Zealand economy and good for New Zealand companies. Have that demand. We need you to have some demand, and so do those retailers. It just might not be the exact product that you wanted.
Don Braid from Mainfreight there, and Checkpoint has approached Ports of Auckland for a response to the issues raised in that interview, but we haven't yet heard back from them.